I'm telling you now, right? I here to defend Terrance. Team Terrance. If you know you're defending a woman, skip the first half hour.
Get a phone call, say she calling me from New York, and she want me pick she up in at the airport. Say she will be reaching in a few hours. She am my baby girl, so me no need no horrors. Well, pretty soon I will be picking you up. In the meantime, love for a girl we so much. To one we in at the bathroom, well love us. Upon me door, me ear knock, 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 oh. When me look, me see the door open wide. It's my girlfriend who step inside, thinking she calling from New York all the while, but was a telephone call from outside.
Terrance's wife have
wrong time in, telling people I don't care about you, girl. Wrong time in. If you stay with your mother, will not catch me with two. Wrong time in. I the belly to tell people, girl, that I don't love you. Lies wrong time in. Whoa, me sing say a Christian and a Rasta man talking about a issue, say that Christ coming. The Rasta say if Christ coming at the morning, I cut my natty and I'll start praising. What if we look to the rising of the sun, and Selassie I decide to come, and the house for the Rasta children, say I have Rasta, you don't have none, you got wrong time in. It's not where you're from, but it's where you are going. Wrong time in. You say when you reach here, missing what you be doing. Wrong time in. No blame nobody out here about the life that you're living now. Wrong time in. Whoa, missing say the blazer that now come back from in at the country, and me come down with a hard piece of collie. All of me brethren and them start surround me. The Babylon and them start hearing about me. The day the police them decide to bust me, busting me out and they busting a hurry. The Babylon ask for the sense. Babylon, you too let me down. Smoke it already, you got wrong time.
Terrance's wife timing back. Welcome to episode 195 of the Corey Shepherd podcast. Every now and again, you have to skip 100 episodes on them and see if people paying attention. I get excited last week. Thanks for pointing it out for me. My problem is that I don't know how to go and change it. So we're going from episode 294 to episode 195. You cannot go wrong in it. Just stay close. You can't go wrong. Before I get into the country, right? Let me safeguard myself here, right? Because what's not going to happen is I'm not going to end up in no whole set of problems. This is from the desk of Budu Balkaran and Associates Attorneys at Law. September 14th, attention to all members of the public, including me. They say via social media. Dear all, we act on behalf of Mr. Terrance Ramsaroop and his wife, Renee Budram Ramsaroop. Mr. Ramsaroop is a serving member of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Thank you for your service, Terrance. Together, he and his wife are parents to a 3-year-old boy. It has come to their attention that there is a particular video which is circulating on various social media platforms, which was so published without their authorization, explicit or otherwise, in which certain personal issues are ventilated. Ventilated is a good word. You'll have to like a lawyer, you know, they really ventilate a lot. We take this opportunity to place members of the public on notice that the said video was filmed strictly for private usage. You know, they wouldn't put out a letter saying the video Terrance and the girl take was for private usage. It was for strictly private. You're wicked, you know. The video was filmed strictly for private usage by our clients and its publication, and the reproduction was not so authorized. And as such, we ask that you refrain from sharing the video via Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, or any other social media platforms, as it has caused much distress. The sharing caused the distress, much distress to our clients as their images have been plastered across various forms of social media without their consent. Not even social media, not various forms of media. We trust that you'll be so guided and look forward to your cooperation as the continued sharing of said video only serves to exacerbate and inflame a sensitive issue which was meant to be treated privately in the first place. Well, my plan was to get a little drop talking about how extravagant. But since they say don't play the thing, I shall play none of it. I just come to advise Terrance. Terrance, you need your own lawyer. Well, there are lawyers for the couple. I could be your lawyer for today because Terrance, I like how Terrance went on if you don't know, right, a video went a wrong place this week. You had to know that. Anyway, you see that video, right? Long as Zachary asking me about the video, Zachary trying to back me in a corner now, how me asking question in front of his mother. But the wife wrong. The wife wrong bad. She ain't home now. I can talk my mind. The wife wrong. And when I see your foot routine, and what before you study, you record, man. Well, let's put out a thing here saying about viral video and taking the video and thing, but she in the viral video saying how she have video of Terrance and all these kind of things. So why Terrance, I go write a cease and desist letter for you to tell you exactly how you're supposed to treat with matters like those, because she have video of you that according to these attorneys, I want to read and use some of them words, right? So since me in study law, we go put together a word saying that there's a particular video of Terrance and Shania that is circulating around your phone, and it has been published without my authorization, explicit or otherwise, and in that certain personal issues are ventilated and we was ventilating each other and so on. I could put together a letter, you know. We take this opportunity. The video was filmed strictly for private and Vice's usage, you know what I mean? we had to help Terrance, you know. Listen, the whole world come down on Terrance. The next video I see come out is they pack all the clothes in a garbage bag. They put it on the ground by the roadside. They let them get out the place to come inside. Girl, do him that. Don't bring Terrance heart. I don't understand it. We want quick to put out man and every little thing happen, but you want to put the man out something. The only thing I'll say, I don't understand Terrance, right? Terrance living for the streets. Terrance is a serviceman too, right? So she done wrong from that standpoint. All in my letter I could put that. Madam, you married a serviceman. What did you expect? What you was looking at, in other words, you went into this thing knowing fully well what to expect. You keep half in your name, you even take the whole Ram Sarup, you make sure you keep a boudram because you know where this was headed. And listen, everybody else is to blame in this video except Terrance, you know, because Terrance's father is a wicked man. He's a wicked man. If I in this situation and my son, you know what I mean? I come and they say, well, baby on the way, you come to make an announcement, you bring all of we together and put me in this gallery to make an announcement, right? And you come to say, Terrance have a baby on the way. I say, hey, that's extravagant. You know, keep in mind what the meaning of the word extravagant is, right? Because he didn't say that it's great news. He didn't say, you know what I mean, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and you audition to the he says lacking restraint, right? So it's extravagant, the core of extravagant means it's lacking restraint. And that's where, when he says it's extravagant news, it's because he's shocked. He's shocked that Terrance and his wife still having relations, you know. He's like, you still with you. So the father shocked. He said, me and your mother in a long time, all this still. He said, extravagant news. And they have a little boy, you know. They have a little 3-year-old boy, you know what I mean? So sad. And this boy, the internet written in ink, you know. So all boudram and them letter ain't serving no purpose because that gonna circulate. And poor child, he got to deal with this when that time come. He and his little brother or sister to come, right? But Terrance's father self, she comes, she say her news. He says extravagant news. But the baby is not mine. And I have video, Terrance. I have video of you and the girl. You was by the girl last night. I want to know how she gained all the Terrance. You had to try and keep things under control. How she gained all this other information and all these video about you and thing. Were you recording? You have a two-piece with sides, right? You like fries, you like coleslaw, you know what I mean? People like these things. Churches are nice biscuit. I know all went churches the other day too, you know what I mean? All clearly like churches biscuit. When you have sides, don't make no video and them go making video and them kind of it was vice. Yes, young people, you know, 23. I suppose 23 is a different kind of vice meaning to understand. But Terrance's father sit down and watch this woman interrogate this man. If Terrance is a police, his father is ex-police. I make up my own story now. His father is definitely an ex-police. Me now Terrance getting force. But at no point in time, if it's me and my son going through this, after about the third or fourth minute, I say, all right. So there's where you call me. I say, boy, Terrance, let me go, boy. Let me go from here. I'm not sitting down there and watch my son get ice grill in front of everybody in the family and all this other embarrassing scene. And I don't understand the social media thing today. I don't understand the constant need to record things. They say they didn't put it out, right? According to Boudram and friends, they didn't put it out. So I don't know how it reached out because it means she had to send it to somebody. And once you make a video, you had to be prepared for that video to become public. This is just the world we living in today. But she wrong. She had no right to confront Terrance like that. This could be a private thing, or they make yourself a national news story. And they've been doing a running calendar for the year, right? If you remember, the calendar starts off with Lester Peltier, I believe, in January. And that make me realize how fast we reach September. That's why I try to skip the 100 episodes now, because this year going faster than I thought. It's like, what we really doing here? What we really doing? How we reach September already? But Terrance take the cake for September because Terrance frees up completely. Terrance, use a policeman. First thing first, the MP5 strap is where you come up with for the hickey on your neck. That is impressive. That is impressive. A round of applause for Terrance. Not just that you come up with the worst excuse ever, but you get she to buy that. You know what I mean? The MP5 strap, she buy that. Now we have video and things. It come like if he do the right thing, because sometimes you have to listen to all what they know first before you start a lie, because the worst thing is to start a lie and then they start to confront you with evidence. So you do the right thing to stay quiet. But I only here to give Terrance clearly don't listen to enough Kaiso and Calypso. So I come to give a few things today, right? A few in terms of Calypso and music for the episode. I really focused on trying to help Terrance, you know what I mean, and to show this woman wrong. I have a barrage of horn tune with woman, this horn man. We have to get the balance. We behind, you know, fellas. So let us stay with me, you know, we behind bad. Terrance just set me back 400 years. So first, I'm going to play a few songs here that could help Terrance out. Terrance is slow on your feet. Your adroitness of reflex. It wants some work, you know what I mean? You have to work, you have to do a little yoga. What is doing the police? Always do like keep training up to date. You have to do a little mental gymnastics. You can't just go brain dead when the thing come down. Yeah, a good partner of mine, I talked about him in the last episode. He said, deny, and cry. Deny, and cry. It's a serious matter. You can't just be caught there. You sit down and you freeze up now for the whole time and make yourself in a meme. I would like to make the first Calypso available to Terrance. I played it to the end because we done bad. And we had to help one another. Fellas, we had to stick together, you know. We can't let these women and them have the upper hand on we, you know. We had to stick together.
Maggie, darling, sugar dumpling, don't get so mad. Please let me explain. Do, darling, sugar dumpling, you don't get so mad. Please let me explain. I'm telling you the truth. If you see me with some woman, I don't want you misunderstand. Whatever you might see me do, know my love is true. I'm not being unfaithful to you. Woman, you catch me within the bed. Really didn't have no place to rest your head. Business closed down, she lost, she walk. Disappointed, suffering from shock. Only takes she home so to relax and cheer she up. You know how them things does go. I'm exhausted, she said to me. Sparrow are so tired and so sleepy. Casually she sat on the bed and asked me to massage her leg. That's all, that is all, that is all. Oh God, darling, that is all. Troublemakers will spread rumors for confusion. Oh no, don't take them on. You hear me? Just be trusting and don't dig nothing. Try and understand. I'll never do you no wrong, baby. Darling, you will never deceive. There is no need to disbelieve. Keep your trust and your faith in me, and I promise you there'll be no infidelity. The woman you saw me with the other night, she and she man, they just had a fight. And I fine, it was really looking so bad. The man kicked she clothes in the yard. She sit down there and start to cry like she going mad. Oh, Lord. The $2,000 I gave to she was to buy a sandwich and a coffee. Not another thing happened. Me and this girl ain't nothing. That's all, that is all, that is all. Oh, God. Darling, that is all. Let nobody cause you to be jealous and confused. Don't mind them and the news. You hear me, baby? They want me to mash up so they could come and shock up. Girl, when you refuse, we'll be like two fools singing the blues, singing the blues. I don't know why these women don't stop, always trying to set me up, trying to give you the impression something wrong when my darling nothing ain't going on. The girl I was with behind the lamppost, don't vex because I was holding she close. Well, she's a old thief from in the east. Is somebody arrange she thief? I was only trying to hold she for the police, just doing my civic duty. The reason they had was in she bosom. I was feeling to see if she had a gun. She didn't have no gun by she chest. It's why I was searching under she dress. That's all, that is all, that is all. Oh, God, I wouldn't lie to you. Just because I am such a nice guy, some way, somehow, it always leaves me in wrong. You hear me, baby? Helping people seem to be my trouble. Oh, I see it now, but no more will this be allowed. I'm putting down my foot. From now on they go help themselves, take their troubles to someone else. It's too much canker and confusion, and I know to myself I am an innocent man. I know they will tell you me and Miss Lynch was seen making love on Maracas Beach. Well, the fact is she had on a bikini and was attacked by African bees. Very bravely I cover she with my whole body. A brave heroic feat. She locked me neck and she grabbed my hand. The woman pulled me down in the sand. A bee sting me on me behind. I couldn't help it, I had to whine. That's all, that is all, that is all. Oh, God, I wouldn't lie to you, baby.
It's not a song, a line in that song I'd always like, right? The $2,000 I guess she was to buy a sandwich and a coffee. And it makes so much sense because, Terrance, one of the rules in this thing is no deposits, no withdrawal. That's why these women is how we on the back foot. No deposits, no withdrawal. And if them women take deposit, we have to mind them like normal. It's just at some point, child will start to resemble, you know what I mean? But if you make a deposit, you have to see how quick you can get them to withdraw. If you see what I'm saying, right? You can't be there. But the $2,000 to buy a sandwich and a coffee, you said, listen, it sounds so funny the first time I hear it in a song. But if you ever went by Paz Coffee, next to Fatty Brother, it's too far from $2,000 for a sandwich and a coffee. Paz is on the next level expensive. Terrance, the next thing we had to practice doing, I'm talking to all the Terrances of this world, right? You had to, at some point, after you deny and cry, you had to turn it back wrong on them. You had to try to blame them. I have a Kaiso for that too, you know. Just make it say anything them say. They could have how much video. If Anna Roberts could say it's not he, who is we?
I don't know why Elcina, this is but full terror. I don't know why So day after day, the woman was saying, she man named Henry Ford from the USA. I say, who? She said, the man makes the motor car. That is my man, he's a millionaire. He just give me money, I don't take. I say, plenty money. She say, wait, money by the buckets. Because I love him, I won't take it. Don't doubt me. If I tell you something, terrible ball, he does give me motor cars and all, and he watching me straight in the eye. Oh my lord, that woman could lie. She damn lie.
Tell she lie. Tell the outside woman lie and your wife, everybody lying on you.
I happen to think to the best, you know. But yet, she says she loved Terrance. I said, darling, you can't fool me, because no love without money. Men like Henry Ford and Paul Getty have money that they could pull up the sea. So don't try to fool up my brain with lies. You know the woman gets across and she start to cry. She say, it gives money, I don't take. I say plenty money. She say, wait, money by the buckets. Because I love them, I won't take it. Don't doubt me. If I tell you something,
Terrance, you go ball.
they just give me motor cars and all, and she watching me straight in the eye. Oh my Lord, that woman could lie. She damn lie. Last time I met Elsina at Shaka Cubana, she said this place belongs to me. Tara, do you love the scenery? I said yes, honey bun, I am proud and glad to know you're holding nice portion of Trinidad. She said I can bring the receipt to show. I bought it from my engine in Miaro. I have my own courthouse, did you know? I have in my own jail tomorrow, and I would never lie to you, dear. I'm the owner of Woodford Square. I know supermarkets, all is mine. You can get your goods free anytime, and I'm going to the moon in July. Bye-bye, that woman could lie. She damn lie.
My name is Shania. You should tell she's Shalaya. Hey, long time I ain't started up with politics. You know, when last we opened my episode with politics, all the best to Terrance and his wife Boudram and them don't come for me. It's all jokes, you know what I mean, all fun and thing. That's a rough thing for a family to be going through, but it look like they get the churches and everybody okay. The next thing too is sometimes when you see them video, you know how long it would happen. People don't make back and then living their life like normal and thing, and you're revisiting old wounds, you know what I mean? So all best wishes to all of them. Best wishes to Shania. Shania make a video done. It's one of the worst things I ever see. Terrance had to call that woman and say, "You'll take down that." But anytime you're making a video, right, and you're seeing, like, I had to tell my side of the story in public, better you take down that. Don't bother to do it. Political. I was taking in over the course of last week. What happened last week, boy? What went on last week? Well, I mean, a salute again, and thanks for all the contributions that Roy Cape has made to our country, our musical landscape. Kaiso, Calypso, all young artists. You hear the humility. While I recording this, the funeral going on, I want to salute again to Keturah, who reached out to me via the YouTube comments with her own stories about Papi, which I intend to get on record someday. It's only when I started recording, I remember that the funeral going on now, and I made the best time to call her. But she already said she coming on, and we have things to do together. But the tributes and everything for Roy Cape are fitting, and he getting a send-off there that is fitting of a king, right? And he going up there to meet plenty kings and queens, right? Not just all-stars, kings and queens like men like Blacks and Ricardo Drew, but he going up there to meet people like Singing Sandra, people like Stalin. So must be a day. You could imagine what the music like sung in heaven now, when everything that was sung in so sweet before, and that saxophone adding the mix there. You can't go wrong. I saw some beautiful dedications being done by people like Destro, people like Michelle Henry, a saxophone player as well. Several of them Bugsy Sharp talking about. And Bugsy Sharp, calling him Chalky. I wanted to hear more about that story too, like how we get the nickname Chalky. But Salute to Roy Cape, salute to the All Stars, condolences to the family as we go along. But during the course of this week as well, I am not big into American politics. I don't think I understand it enough, and I'm not interested enough to follow it. My father and my brother is big followers of American politics. Salute to them. But I always catch a little glimpse of it. I'm skeptical of politicians, and I'm skeptical of people who are descendants of people who kept people in trap for 400 years. So I don't really see one as different from the other. I remember watching Biden versus Trump, and I keep telling my father, like, Biden can't win. And Biden, like, senile, you know what I mean? He's senile. It's clear. This man not fully coherent and together. He's a mess. So he can't win. There's nobody in their right mind who going to elect him, even for fear of Trump. But after I see that debate last week, I taken in the debate from more Twitter clips and them thing than anything else, right? While it going on, I'm trying to see what's the highlights of the debates and them thing. I guess just for my own entertainment. I don't trust none of these politicians, especially American politicians. But I think Trump's senile too. Trump's senile like hell. When they put Kamala there, the Republicans should have taken that opportunity to move here and put somebody who's stable. Because this man is unstable and senile like hell. The only reason I wasn't seeing I wasn't seeing his senility before is because Biden own was big. You know what I mean? It was overshadowing Trump own. But he clearly senile. He not listening to handlers or preparing. He gets so flustered in that debate and talks to immigrants. It's me and we talking about the Caribbean people going there to eat dog and cat and thing. He just like me. I watching little Twitter clips and forming an opinion. He watching little Twitter clips too about because there was a thing with somebody who had ate a cat and that kind of thing. But it's a Yankee and we all of a sudden the Haitian and all of we getting the blame. Oh, Caribbean people reaching that. Man say abortion is all up to the 9 months, and after the 9 months, I would think that there's an execution, something like that. Abortion, you know what I mean? It's like, what is happening? What is going on over there? He not fully in control of what coming out of his mouth. Like, there's no filter, nothing. There have a few people I look at on Instagram, right? Older couples. One is an Italian older couple. And you know, old Italian, like when you watch The Godfather, they say, done for the G. Not done Corleone. The old man is talk like that, and he and his wife listen. Every clip them have is two of them cussing out one another. They're married for like forever, like how Terrance and his wife could be. They may leaving one another, but I don't know if them like one another in that house. You know what I mean? Them looking, and then it have a next one too. A white older couple, old people I talking about. They're looking like they're 80s. The woman in a wheelchair, I believe. Either the man or the woman in the wheelchair, and is cuss out. Them listen, that man can't stand that woman and she can't stand it. And like the children taking it and making it into Instagram thing because they ain't leaving one another. It's one of the differences with the long time relationships versus today, right? The long time, and maybe it's lack of options and all them thing, right? This is before Instagram and DMs. It's easy to get somebody new long time, I'm guessing. You know what I mean? When you're only limited to your own community and them kind of thing. But and it's easy to do things discreetly neither, like Terrance, you know, writing Princess Dong, you know? But no, I don't think couples going through the kind of things that couples went through before. Because, I mean, all of we have a story in we family about a Terrance situation, right? Where you find out later on you have a brother or you have a brand new cousin. You have a brand new cousin, but he's 27 years old. But he's brand new brand. Or funerals, just find it out a lot when you see funeral and thing, and a man say, well, boy, here nothing, that uncle so and so, I'm my father. You know, all families had things like that. But the long-time family had a tendency or the marriage, you know what I mean? It had a tendency to stay together. When you look at the rates at which people divorce now, people ain't sticking through no infidelity and no financial problems and no, I was going to say abuse, but you shouldn't stick through that, right? But people stick through a lot of things before and rally and figure out a way to make the relationship work, you know? And now you don't see much of that. And maybe it's a positive thing, and maybe it's a positive thing because I have some beliefs around the idea of marriage, right? Outside of, I'm not the most religious person I have, but I feel like the idea behind marriage is steeped in ownership. And this idea that a man own a woman, right, is what is at the core of the of this institution that we call marriage. Because even if you look at the vows, the honor and obey, and them vows used to go one way. Like the woman had to honor and obey and succumb, or what's the word these new youths like to use now? If a woman submissive and all these kind of things is it was really designed to say that when I married you, you are mine. I own you. You don't own me because I for the streets. But I own you, and I think women, it reach a tipping point. Women ain't going through that no more. Women at a point now where they're making their own money. They have their own friend groups. They have their own, they're not beholden, is a word, to a man where all my family now become your family. Your family is my only family, and your friends is my only friends, and your money is my only money, and your car, them days done, and I think that's for the better. So you find that people getting out of it. People not trying to stick and hold on to marriage, or you don't have to. Or plenty discussion happening home where people say, "Hey, listen, just be discreet, right? Just be discreet." You know what I mean? No embarrassment, no deposits, no withdrawals, no embarrassment, no set of public scandal and them kind of thing. And we could be good. We could rally through and make it okay enough. Make it okay enough, you know. But back to Trump. I don't even know how I read so far from Israel. Trump are talking about, Trump is senile, and this man needs to go. They need to replace him, find a youthful candidate. But I guess it's too late for that now, because my take was that Biden couldn't beat Trump now as in the opposite direction. Kamala, whatever is the right pronunciation, she's going to win by a landslide. I'm still hearing people saying that Trump is the preferred candidate. Again, I don't understand American politics enough, because I never thought Trump could have won in the first place. So I don't know if I'm reading it right. But after that debate, it really, really looked bad. This man was all over the place. He can't see his way. And I can't imagine him having to lead a country and meet with officials and things, and saying, I like hell. But domestic politics now, they're seeing some moves being made, right? And I keep hearing rumors about this. And in the Guardian, I saw it here yesterday where it said Young is the next man to lead the PNM. With a question mark, right? Not a statement. So let me read that real quick, right? In the span of 10.5 years, Stuart Young has moved from an established attorney lacking political experience, working his way up the ladder to temporary opposition senator in 2014, junior minister in 2015, senior minister in 2018, and now the acting prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago. There's a belief in political circles and public discussions that Minister Young is favored to eventually replace Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley as political leader. Now, regardless of if you forget your like or dislike for the PNM, forget your like or dislike for Rowley, or your like or dislike for Stuart Young, right? I feel about them the same way I feel about all politicians. I think that this is a positive move, at least so that we're not ending up in a country, if there's more succession planning within particularly the two major political parties, where and term limits might be it. And I believe, like, if you have term limits at the prime ministerial level, we should have laws that govern how political parties should be formed, what they do, how they get funding, how they should operate, how they should have elections. Our constitution should cover how political parties behave, right? It's important because the political parties are the ones who looking to come into government. So if you don't structure properly how a political party behaves, it could lead to chaos in governance. One of these good days, I will get my friend Lara Brothers de Silva to come and talk a little bit about. She's the head of the corporate governance institution. I'm terrible at the names, but she's head of an institution that deals with corporate governance, right? As a sort of action group, I would call it. She'll be better to explain it than me. But governance is an important thing in corporate leadership, right? Because the way the company behaves as a whole, like when I hear Derek Chin come and say, well, I don't know what them accountants was doing, and if they paid that. Listen, that is a governance issue. She will speak to it better than me, but clearly the way the company is being governed, there's some gaps in it, and they have experts like Kamala who could come and explain, say, okay, what you should put in place. We ourselves as a company, my father and brother and everybody, we learning that as we go along too, because it's go from being a business where you had to do everything. When we was first doing marketing, I was putting up flag and banner and all them things myself, going running, so get printing, bang it up. And now I don't do much of that at all. Is a very big difference. And the focus of the company now at this stage, we nearly 20 years old as a company. And we're realizing that we have a real governance issue. Too big a gap between the ownership and the management and the leadership and the operation and so on. So it's not abnormal for businesses or operations or institutions to have issues with governance, and you could get help where that is concerned. But one of the key things they'll tell you about in governance is succession planning, because the truth is that I end this episode all the time telling people, listen, take care of yourself, because you don't know who you're talking to next week. You don't know if the same people that you're wrong today going to be here. We not promise nothing. We not promise tomorrow. So God forbid somebody close their eye tomorrow. If you don't have a plan for who's going to take your place, how the structure will go on. And again, I had to link it back to Terrance, because as a husband, I encourage you to set up a succession plan in case anything happens to you. Try and pick the man who's going to run your household now in your place. You need to have a succession planning husband session, right? Kamala go talk to me about that too. But I felt good when I saw this. And again, it is an article that is speculative at best. It is not anything coming out from the PNM saying this, but I would love to see political parties do this, where either we put term limits for the Prime Minister and follow it by saying parties have term limits. When you win a party election as a political leader, you have 2 terms. An election must be called every 5 years. This is how you vote. This is no arbitrary way of selecting people and them kind of thing from the party level. Let me read on, right? There are mixed views from within the party about the possibility of Stuart Young taking over. Senior government and opposition sources who spoke with Guardian Media on the condition of anonymity agreed that Minister Young is a good or at least a competent minister. The first government source called Young, also the PNM chairman, a useful asset, but feels he lacks the necessary empathetic connection with the ground at this time to make an effective political leader. The senior government source also doubted whether Young could inspire the country as a prime minister. Let me dissect them 2 things, right? In terms of Young's connection to the ground, just from my completely externally looking, and I tend to agree with that, right? I'm not sure how he connects with the ground. And I mean, apart from I feel like the connection with the ground is not absolutely necessary. If you have enough councillors and MPs and so on who who very, very connected to the ground, they could go ahead and win their seats. And we have to keep in mind that you're campaigning behind a balize, right? So you have a certain percentage of people who will vote for you regardless. The ground has a tendency a lot of times to be split along political lines and the lines that they call the base, right? So if you're appealing to the ground in different constituencies, you will get the same votes that any, what the boss had said, put a crap in a balize tie, them votes almost guaranteed. In terms of the swing voters or the, what I like to call the informed undecided voter, I don't know that they voting based, call them the COP voter, right? The COP voter not necessarily voting based on the leader's connection with the ground, but they're voting based on real issues and real policy that could carry the country forward, right? So I'm not sure how much that will affect him, and it will only matter in the marginal seats, right? In terms of the empathetic connection, I guess that's a judgment call too, and I don't feel like he have a whole lot of that either. There was nobody better than that than Kaliperssad Bissessor. But the truth is, I don't really find Rowley have that like empathetic connection with people. I don't know if you describe him as that. Inspiring the people as a prime minister. I don't know. One thing you'll say about Rowley, right? They might say no, he disconnected and them things, but coming up through the ranks of the PNM, Rowley is a grounds man. You know what I mean? Rowley know the ground, especially in the West here. He know the people, he know the streets. He's very, very connected to people, at least then. Now might be a different story. In terms of inspiring the country as a prime minister, I guess he's talked well. You know, like when you look at Kamala and Trump, I always feel the figurehead of the party is less in control of what happened. They in the face of a machine is what you would call them, if you ask me. And I think a big part of the role of that person is to be charismatic and inspirational, and that would be your marketing people go take care of that for you. Your marketing people go tell you what to say and what to wear and how to put across this message, because when you do your manifesto, your plans for the country or your plans for the next 5 years, you're going to package that well and put that out on social media. So I feel like those are things that could be machined, you know what I mean? He will have help with that. Going back to the article, sorry, both the PNM and the UNC are going to come across a leadership issue, but the choice of the next political leader, the PNM, will be a larger conversation than the choice of the next UNC leader, as the PNM is currently in government. I don't agree with that at all. I think the choice of or at least it should, the choice of who comes next for the PNM and the UNC should be a big conversation. I feel it's like the flip of a coin whether UNC or PNM will win the next election. So it's in our best interest to pay particular attention to the party politics that happen, the internal party politics, so we could see what we're likely to get over the next 5 years. And we're going into a period here now where they're touting 2026, 27, 28 as going back into a gas boom or an energy boom, right? We need to have the right people in charge now. A second senior government source spoke very highly of Young, describing him as an intelligent and full of integrity. Down the line, would he make a great leader? I think so, because he's very driven, and like Dr. Rowley, he cares a lot about his country. He's a patriot. Leadership position is not being discussed now because we have a leader in the future. When there's a vacancy, I will not hesitate to follow Stuart. I also partly feel like I hope it don't come to that. I hope you could see a day where Dr. Rowley in the near future say, listen, while I'm healthy and strong and not senile like Trump and Biden, I want to hand this over. I want you all. I want to put my support behind this guy, and you all let him take it from here, because you have somebody who younger, more vibrant. Let me see. His name is Young, you know. Let me see what he ages. If he age matching name. Stuart Young. What's his age, son? Born the 9th of February. This man is an Aquarius. Give him man the work. I voted for Stuart Young. Born the 9th of February, 1958. I had to do some math here. I thought he was my age. Stuart Young is looking young. Where we are now? 2024 minus 1958. Don't laugh at me, eh? 66. Stuart Young is 66 years old? Nah, man. Something ain't right with that. Somebody tell me I'm wrong about this. Stuart Young can't be 6. That's not right. That's not right. Sorry, yeah, Ole, but I had to figure this out before I leave. Stuart Young can't be 66 years old. Stuart R. Young is in it? Stuart Young has assumed office. Let me see on this man age. Right, 1975, age 49. That can be right. You see why Wikipedia numbers? That is how Wikipedia page. This is why I tell students all the time Wikipedia is not a credible source. So at 49 years old, going into election next year, I mean, he might be running the country if he was to win an election. You're looking at from 2026 to 2030, 25 to 30. So he'll be over 50, 51. That's good age. That's good age. Youth. You're still connected enough to the history and the legacy and that, you know what I mean, mature enough and all that, but you're properly connected to what's happening today and what's going on. We could work on all the things we don't like about Rowley in terms of your ability to communicate with people. I hope that all those things polish, but I hope to see a day where you don't have people holding on to the reins of power, like what Biden was trying to do, at the detriment of the party and by extension at the detriment of the country. You know what I mean? Look how quick Kamala Harris come in place and take over the ratings and that, you know what I mean? And just by not saying immigrants eating cat and dog, she gone way ahead in the race. And when there was breaks in a debate a little bit, now she calling for a debate. Same thing with Trump. You're staying in front there, you're not ready. The man say he have concepts of a plan. That's the kind of thing I used to say when me and do my homework in Fatima days. Fatima, when you see a class is 40 minutes long, I digging in my bag for 40 minutes because I can't find the book. Me and doing that homework no day. As a matter of fact, when they ask about homework, that when I remember it how homework, you know what I mean? Everybody's trying doing better than me. You know? But I like to see it, and it's something that I would like to see from the UNC, because the UNC seems to be a party where hold on to the reins of power, even if the party get destroyed. Kaliperssad be say seeing a faction saying they don't want her again. She getting older. She lost a whole bunch of elections and she does not care. And the people who, I was going to say propping her up, the people who supporting her don't care either. And you saw it with Pandey at the time, kicking and screaming to go away from the... And listen, he became even more of a statesman and even more of a national figure when he stepped aside from the party politics and was able to, unlike Manning, able to enjoy his retirement and get the flowers he deserved for being one of the greatest leaders that the country has ever seen. So salute to this art. Again, the article is speculative, right? But I like the idea, if even for the sake of what succession planning means in national politics. And I would hate to see an institution as strong and as that stood the test of time like the UNC go through stages where they can't move forward. They're in their own way because you have a leader, a maximum leader who willing to hold on to power at the expense of the party and expense of the country. But again, we come here to advise Terrance, right? First things must, we must never lose the theme, first things must always remain first. And one of the things that you could do, Terrance, is no matter what somebody accuse you of, like just accuse them back of something. Like this is the issue, I said I'm gonna watch Trinidad play. We talked about this last week. We fire a man who we didn't like how he was playing, and the thing was too boring, and he playing Route 1 football, and we look like Stoke City, and we fired a man when he used to win games and draw games, right? The last 2 games he played, he draw one at home against Grenada and he win one a big away against one of the smaller countries. We bring a man who's a caretaker coach now who lost big against Honduras, which I am confident that Angus Eve wasn't going there and getting 4 goals. And then come against French Guyana and can't score goals. So since he take over, Trinidad never score. While Angus Eve was in charge, Trinidad was scoring more goals than I see we scoring a long time. And I find like the commentators, I'm not sure what happened with social media side of Trinidad football, right? That's our youth man I like to follow. Seem to be a Tobagonian youth by the name of Scully Loves Football. I like to see youths involved in things, right? Salute Scully. He had so much to say about Angus Eve getting fired. With the 4-0 win, I see him talking about, well, Mr. Derek King. And he's so respectful. He's called all the coaches Mr. Angus Eve and Mr. Derek King. I like the youth. But I see him talk about Derek King in a way where it's almost like he being gentle, we go on there and we get 4, and Mr. Derek King, we play expressive football, we look good for a little while, and we get 4. And I understand the idea of giving him time because, it was his first game in charge, you come and get 4. But I wanted to hear his comments after we come at home and look lackluster against French Guyana of all people. And can't score a goal for a whole game, 90 minutes, you can't get the ball in the net. At all, when they start the same showtime, they was accusing Angus of not starting. He started 2 games, no goals. No knock on him. But I would have liked to hear the social media commentators like Scully come and give me the opinion about it. Everybody just seemed to just accept we draw with French Guyana and move on. If that was Angus, we would not hear the end of that. But anyway. Just like these fellas and them in the TTFA. When you see side attacking you, right? We go there in Honduras and side attack. Sometimes it ain't too good to defend. When you defend like Angus says, lost your work. And sometimes when people attacking you, Terrance, you must attack them back. Find something to accuse them of too. Pelt a shot in the dark. You could say you have video too. Say something.
Me listen like you take me for Mickey Mouse. The way you bring in man in me house. Oh man, you take me for Mickey Mouse. The way you bring in man in me house. Look, I don't want to break your blasted jaw. I don't want to tangle with the law. So you better have some respect for me and stop this nonsense entirely. Every day is a different man you have warming up me furniture. You're introducing them as your cousin, your brother-in-law or your compare. So before I reach in the crazy house or the hangman cemetery, look, I want you to write all your family name on a piece of paper for me. Well, let me tell you something, Millie. I find you have too much man family, and they always employ with the government. They either in the force or the regiment. You must be saying to yourself, you have me so, but it's in jail I want to go. And that is all you could ever bet. Why are you puncture your blasted jawbone as yet? I want to know. If it's only man family you could bring in here, how you never invite your tanti, your niece or your makume, and this cousin, this uncle, this compare business, you're getting me basodi. Look, I want you to write all your family name on a piece of paper for me. Oh yeah, you're giving me cuckoo to eat, and the food never tasting sweet. Yeah man, Tanya cook up with salt still, with no grease at all like if I in jail. But them man where you say is your family, when they reach home you run it, like you're catching malcady bus you're glad, and you're killing the biggest fowl in the yard, taking down the pot from the fire before time. Cause you can't wait, giving me the bottom of the fowl to eat, and putting chicken leg inside the plate. Look, I'm getting tired and disgusted, I don't want to commit a felony. So I want you to write all your family name on a piece of paper for me. This family business is going too far. Get a pen and piece of paper, and them man where you have in your diary, write down the name one by one for me. I am not against you giving me a boot, but like you want to tie and to foot, playing a game with these different men, fly your kite the longest rope of a hen. You're the only woman I know. All your family is man, and you're always singing a song in my head. You ain't have luck with woman. Your family sleeping on me Simon's bed, and I have to sleep in the gallery. So I want you to write all your family name and present it to Zandoli.
That is Kaiso. Terrance yourself. Building on what we talked about last week, right? We was talking last week about the schools and this school reopening issue. This is directly from the Newsday, right? By Lara Healy. Lara Healy says, what shall be the legacy we leave behind? Will there be follies and fallacies to deceive their minds? Will we give them tools so we could empower them? Or let them be fooled for evil to devour them? Them is we children, and we have to build them. Lyrics by friend of the show, Mr. Chuck, from the Generation Next, right? And she says, in primary school, I remember feeling that something was not quite right with how my school was set up. But at the time, I didn't have the knowledge or the maturity to fully articulate my thoughts. High school revealed what the issues were. Now I had my own desk, clean bathrooms with mirrors, grounds to walk. We went to Prestige school? That ain't easy. Clean bathrooms with mirrors, grounds to walk, play sports, and benches where I could sit and relax under a tree with a book. She went Bishop so short. That sounds like Bishop's in print. Many years later, as we began to implement our arts-based program in schools, I realized that by comparison, my primary school was pretty decent. As for my high school, well, it was a paradise. As we continue to have conversations about the kind of nation we want, the physical condition of school should be integral to our self-examination. This week, news headlines focus on a few schools with problems ranging from structural issues to cleanliness and rat infestation. No doubt the authorities responsible for these issues will take the necessary actions to rectify the situation. There you have a lot of faith. However, it occurred to me that although there's a vibrant national discussion about the reforming and decolonization of our education system, the ministry responsible for such transformation remains silent on any significant policy changes. There's considerable research on the impact of physical work conditions on the productivity and even mental health of employees. An article by Harvard Business Review points out that the workplaces unwittingly shape our professional identities, who we were, who we are, and who we aspire to be as workers. Our identities become intertwined with our workspaces as we accumulate milestones, memories, and life-shaping experiences in them. This assertion is similar when it comes to school environments. Designers of institutions of learning need to consider not only the physical structure of a school, but also the location, the lighting, the ventilation, access to outdoors, even the type of furniture used. These impact not just productivity, but the mental well-being of children who will eventually use the buildings. I want to clap that in. I couldn't say it better. I was trying to say it last week, but Dara, so when you go Bishops, it's better. I have written previously about the fact that too many schools are crammed into our capital city and urban centers, apart from the reality that they are largely monuments to concrete. we may want to consider that in the 21st century, this model no longer serves our education needs. I agree. Our capital city, already fraught with challenges, becomes a nightmare of immovable traffic every morning and afternoon. Again, I picking up this boy in Fatima, picking him up and dropping him. And listen, in our time, I hate to compare then to now, right? But the amount of boys, we used to just walk home from school. We walk across Muckrapo Road, we walk through the cemetery, we walk up through St. James, everybody going in a different direction. So you're walking with 10 men. As you reach so by this corner, one man drop off, one man going along Circular Road for a taxi. And all of us used to walk. Used to just walk out of school. They had some boys who was getting picked up and things, but I tell you, no. It looked like every single child getting picked up by their own personal chauffeur, right? You just... Well, listen, it's a different world. And I'm not just talking about Fatima. Keep in mind that on the stretch with Fatima on Muckrapo Road, you had to pass, well, Polly is bigger children, but you're passing Compre. What is Compre name now? Compre and Junior Sec. Muckrapo East and Muckrapo West. It's Muckrapo East and Muckrapo North. So Compre and Junior Sec, right? And then you're reaching Fatima there. So you need, and if you're coming from the next side, you're passing St. Teresa's coming down the road. I think on Arpita Avenue, right, they have a school too. Is this Sacred Boy? I can't remember the name of the school. But what they're describing here is spot on, and is major issues that we're talking about. The thing designed for a world where most people is walking or traveling and that kind of thing. It's not designed for all these cars that causing all this sort of traffic. Perhaps there seems to be little interest in overhauling the way we educate our children because the focus is still largely on passing exams and moving up the levels of our education ladder. At its most basic, literacy is defined as the ability to read, write, and do simple arithmetic. However, educators have long recognized the need to move beyond this. In commemoration of International Literacy Day happening tomorrow, which was back then, the UN has chosen the theme Promoting Multilingual Education, Literacy for Mutual Understanding and Peace. Global literacy now includes digital skills, understanding sustainability, literature, history, the arts, and what the UN calls global citizenship. Education for the future must provide citizens with the ability to engage in critical thinking and make connections between what they are learning and their contribution towards nation building. This damn Bishop girl really bright. I don't know if Dara and Bishop said about assuming, so the way she talk about the school is all them said are hilarious. About the school, everything's hilarious. So the article's so spot on, and my inability to articulate anything because I like that what Dara talking about. I have very basic literacy skills, right? I can read, write, and do simple arithmetic. I can put things in words the way she put it. But we're not doing a good job preparing these children for the world that we want to create. What we're preparing the children for is to put them out into a society that already sliding and in decline, in high crime hotspots and gated communities. We're preparing people for exactly what we're saying we don't want. It's not good. So let me go over what she talk about here in terms of global literacy, right? Digital skills, understanding sustainability, literature, history, the arts, and global citizenship. When you put somebody out there with that, it will matter little if they get a 1 in English or 1 in maths or 6 ones and all them kind of things, 7 and 8 and 9 ones, because the people who get the 7 and 8 and 9 ones, a lot of them struggling to fit into society. There's a lady I admire a lot by the name of something Gajada. Listen, I said, man, you know, I need a research. Anybody willing to come and do research for me? I need somebody here who can help me. My producer studying hard. He going to school. Shelly and Gajara. I was going to Hazel. Let me tell you how far. I like her. If I remember right, she was a local scholarship winner of an open scholarship, and she went all the way to do her PhD, right? What I admire about her is that she's found a way. Like I saw her the other day talking about somebody doubts her skill or some, you know, people on social media like to say she's not a real doctor or some kind of foolishness like that, right? So she listed out her accolades as well as showed a video of herself collecting a PhD on stage, right? And what I admire about her is she herself is talk about, listen, I studied so hard and he went and he do a law degree, da, 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 da. But what she ended up doing now is coaching women to start their own businesses, to find their purpose, basically, from what I see. The thing really gets a woman, everybody really watch her lives, and think it's just so relevant, you know what I mean? And she young, she would be young compared to me. She's a young woman, but doing so well, and congratulations to her and everybody. More and more women that I know from around, and you know what I mean? They subscribe to her and do her coaching programs online and so on. And she's back in Trinidad now, from what it seems, working with women directly, because I saw one of her more recent posts say, you know, they say are too expensive for Trinidad, but she here and she working and she making it work, you know. I admire that. But what you tend to find a lot of times is that the people who do all the right things in school, get all the ones and get all the A's if they don't get to be a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer, they start to become a little bit lost in society. I could tell you stories of men who I went Newton Boys and Fatima with, who was, listen, no care how much you study, you can't beat them in a test. These boys bright. And they're not just brighter. I don't want to make it sound like them get some gift from God. Them men work very hard and study very hard. I can't tell you the amount of them who went through from full mental breakdown to people who dealing with anxiety, imposter syndrome, depression, all the whole works. The education system, even the people who really successful in it and find a way, they're struggling. Like, I had to deal with my son now, and he getting to be a big boy. All you know is come and tell all these stories about what he's going through. This man getting older, his voice getting heavy. Me don't want to come and put his news out because then he goes start to resent me, right? But one of the things I working on him with as an only child is I trying to tell him, brother, you're going to school. You had to make friends, you know, bro. You have to talk to people, your friends and them. That is how that more important in life. The education important and the things you learn and the degrees you will do and the education you will get just through life and life experience. That good. But you also need to make friends and be, you know what I mean, be more, but you're only child, right? So you're accustomed being to your parents. So this man going to school and very much to himself. You don't know the man's name next time. Is a struggle to get him there. And I'm confident that he will get there. But you find that our definition of education is so narrow. I really like what Dara put forward here because it has to start. And of course, if Dara started on Mr. Shaq, you know, she don't have me already, right? As you like Kaiso, I don't like everything I'm going to say after that, right? But she did say, my former high school should not represent a unique oasis in the city where bright little girls go. This should be a standard for all schools and not solely for the reasons of education. While we think about a flawed education system, more young people are being sucked into the life of gangs, drugs, and crime. I was almost in tears reading the last UN report on TNT, which highlights that half of gang members are aged 19 to 25 and another half over 25. Our children are in trouble and they urgently need us to transform a system that no longer serves them. As Mr. Shaq and others continuously warn them as we children, we have to build them, we must. And she did say, today I honor Roy Cape, who mentored young people throughout his life. Play on humble genius. So, much better articulated than I was trying to articulate last week, right? But we must not narrow down this idea of brightness or doing good in school to one singular set of exams that we had to do, which who have the better memory do the best, right? Who have the better memory do better than everybody else. It's not fair to people. It's making young people feel like there's failures from very small and then we expecting greatness of them all of a sudden when they transfer out of, because for us, in our time, the jump was really Form 5 to Form 6 because we was going into a GCE set of exams, which was a different world in terms of how much preparation you had to do, how much work. A-level accounting is the hardest subject I ever do. I still ain't pass it. And then you're going into UE where you have a level of freedom and expected to be not just thinking critically, but to have a level of freedom of expression that you just did not have. You was not rewarded. You was punished for that throughout your whole school life. And now you're going to a university system where you're expected to do that. I like how she ended on Roy Cape, right? You know I go play that Mr. Shaq, right? So you know more well enough. But I want to go back to something Keturah said in the comments last week. She said, Uncle Roy told me so many stories of him and Stalin when they used to tour together for shows. They were best friends in real life. And Stalin getting a stroke affected him a lot. Working with him on promoting the foundation was where I also witnessed how passionate he was about the music and his philanthropy. He was disappointed in the lack of support he got for the music school and the community project, as he truly believed it was a significant tool to curb crime. He always told me he was a little boy in town and it was music that saved him from a life of crime. So you were certain it would have done the same for so many other youths who didn't have any other positive influence in their life. But many people didn't see it the way he saw it, and it broke his heart. It's an important thing to say, because I remember it stood out to me when I looked at all the interviews with him. Almost to the letter. You would see three things in Roy Cape interviews when you read about him, right? One of the first things he would talk about is education. And he would talk about it in terms of learning to read music. I hear Len Bugsy Sharp in his tributes in the funeral today talking about, imagine Bugsy. Bugsy say when he meet Chalky, calling Roy Chalky, right? He say when he meet Chalky, he always used to tell him, boy, Bugsy is special. You go do things on the pan that nobody else ain't go be able to do. Nobody else go ever be able to do. But he always tell him, boy, go and learn to read music now. Go and learn, you know what I mean? It's almost like the audacity to tell a man like Bugsy that he had to go back to school to learn to read music. But you could see he appreciated the purpose of education. You always hear him talk about the orphanage as well and how music saved his life. I heard Destra talking about how her father or her grandfather, I think, was somebody who Roy Cape used to go and listen playing, right, in a jazz band. And it was one of the first people who lent him an instrument so he could go and learn and practice on them kind of thing. Because when you look at it, right, think about somebody who poor and growing up in the orphanage. It's not like you have access to a saxophone or is in a cheap instrument to buy or to learn. I have a saxophone collecting dust. It's not the hardest instrument to play, right? It's not, but like anything else, if you get out of it, what you put into it. And I ain't playing any kind of practice it takes to get to play at any level. But you could imagine in his time as a young man, it would not be easy for today. I know mother and father to go and buy that for you every time you have this trend or every new hobby they have and every new co-curricular activity they do. Me and you so running, we buying piano for them, we buying this. We maybe we treating them too nice. That he talk about that, and Destra said that's what make him, even though he didn't want women in the band at the time, he realized, listen, that this girl grandfather do something for me, I had to do something for her to pay it forward, So he always spoke about that idea of the education, the idea of the orphanage and how it raised him and how it saved his life. But you hear him talking a lot about youth. Every time you hear him talking, it's like the youth is the answer. So when you hear him talk about he looking to build a school, several people spoke about him. He talking to them, he said, come and see me now, pass through this school, And you hear Michelle Henry, and Michelle Henry said Roy Cape gave her one of his horns, his saxophone, which is, that must be an amazing thing to have. And I hope that could find its way to a museum somewhere, or all the different instruments he would have had over the years. If you could find them in a museum somewhere, but if he saw what music did for him and he's seeing the path youths going down, you could see why he's so connected to youth. And I want to thank Dara Healy. Somebody must know Dara and somebody must tell me what school Dara went, right? But I feel like my guess is wrong. I feel like it's sounding very Bishopsish, right? I want to take a slice of Mr. Shaq here. Mr. Shaq, Generation Next.
Time to secure your future. Hey, love the job. Of tomorrow, but then some of the examples we give them to follow. Yet we act as if we don't know why the children behaving so, Lord. But the things they're learning is we who teach it. Hey, the things they're practicing, I tell you, we who preach it. Oh Lord, yes, we quick to say them youths ain't no reach nowhere when we help to lead them astray by the things we did yesterday. Time to show the youth that we believe in them. They've got to know the truth. Let's stop deceiving them. We must guard the fruits, cause we conceive in them. Yes, them is we children, and it's we have to build them. Still you're surprised when you hear they find him shot to death. For their sake, for our sake, Lord, we got to teach them about truth and right. Teach them about love and light. Teach them to trust and care. Teach them about God and prayer. We got to teach them about truth and right. That's it. Love and light.
Hey, listen, everything in this episode serious, I want to move on to talk about a judge, right? A judge is saying with regard to the crime situation that citizens must fight back, you know what I mean? And it sounds a lot like a sentiment by a partner of mine who say, it's very easy for us to come and blame the government for the crime situation. Not just easy, but also very, very useless for us to come and talk about the government and Rowley responsible for crime. It's actually impressive in Facebook comments how much things is get tied back to Rowley. It's like it's Rowley's fault and this, that, and the other. But my partner always tell me, listen, citizens. Because when you think of a community that's safe, right? The police and the security and the gated and all them things that is a level of safety, yes, but it ain't nothing more important than the people in the community keeping one another safe. By just looking out for one another, knowing your neighbors, children, everybody playing together, people know people's household, people know people's hours, and know your car, them kind of things, so that we keep an eye on one another. But before I get into that, right, I did come here for the sole purpose of giving Terrance advice. And last piece of advice I gave him was accuse she back or something. Even if you had to make it up. Next piece of advice I gave you is by a man I used to work in TSCT named Patrick, right? Now, Patrick is an older man. I used to work in the mail room, and Patrick and them fellas, there are plenty of my little old talk and them things come from them. Listen, funny, when you're working in a place where it's only man working, you hear some story. And Patrick went through this. Patrick say he went through all the same stages I talk about. He deny, he cry, he freeze up like Terrance. He went through all kind of thing. And he say, the wife pack up she bag. And he say, well, go your way if you think you are your man and them two and all this kind of thing. Because as far as Terrance's video come out, I see a woman named, I don't know the woman name, but the fella named Andy. She say, Andy, come and drop me to work. Andy say, girl, you are your man and them, you are your man and them. Boy, the woman hit Andy some hand. What a bab, licks. Andy take off that video fast though. He ain't making no sort of video and them kind of thing. I'm not suggesting that is what Terrance should do, right? But, So, when I see things like that, I'd give him a piece of advice. Because Patrick say after he accused she back, he quarrel, he cuss, he say, well, go your way. He say, boy, when I say go my way, she gone and she pick up a thing and she head by the gate. He say, boy, I run in front of the gate, I drop down on my knees. He say, I say, horn me back, but don't leave me. Try that, Terrance. Try it. Make a beg.
Darling, go home. Darling, go home. Darling, go home. Darling, go home.
If you love me, tell me so. You don't love me, let me know. If we finish, let me go. But don't harm me. Girl, don't harm me. If you see a man you want, simply let me know in front. So I'm talking rather blunt. Girl, don't harm me. Girl, don't harm me. Try to harm me. But darling, don't harm me. Tell people you run me.
But darling, go home.
Walk over your harm me.
Darling, go home.
Tell them you scorn me.
But darling, go home.
You could promise to bond me.
Darling, go home.
Throw water on me.
But darling, go home.
Rasta man dread, shave their locks clean off their head, and go back to eating dead. So don't horn me, girl, don't horn me. That does make a big man cry. Water running down the eye, only asking darling why. So don't horn me, girl, don't horn me. Threaten, horn me, darling, don't horn me. Tell people you want me, but darling, don't horn me. You could walk over your horn me, darling, don't horn me. Tell them you want me, but darling, don't horn me.
Kelvin Pope, you know, the mighty Duke, you know, if you don't know, you know what I mean? People say I don't say the name of the song and think that man say, threaten, warn me, but darling, don't horn me. Let me talk about the judge now. The judge says citizens must fight back. This is from Caroline Kissoud. He said business-minded citizens should embrace entrepreneurship, think innovatively, and explore new opportunities to invest in this country's economy without having fear of criminals. What you're talking about here, Justice Frank Seeparsad, you're talking about an ideal. You're saying this is what should happen, or you're suggesting that this is what we do. He said delivering a sermon at Harvest Thanksgiving service in Claxton Bay yesterday, Justice Seeparsad said, citizens should not allow the fear of criminal activity to stymie their dreams. Do not give in to fear. Fight back, report extortion, and adopt all lawful measures to protect your businesses and your families. Couple issues here, Justice. Couple issues here. The police, who you're telling us to report the extortion on, right? The police is telling people that MP5 strap get them hickey. I say. A lot of times when what is he talking about? What is he talking about? He talking about judge level salaries. I'm sure he's taking every lawful action that could protect his family, because one of the lawful things that could protect your family is having a FUL and making sure that you're licensed to carry, so that if anybody should try to kick in your door, you can answer back. But I see the same man again suing the state, trying to find out from Ella, trying to get answers. He said he must be told in writing why exactly his application for FUL was denied. I go on the other day, right? Let me tell you about the kind of chaos we're dealing with. Where I live now is very hilly, right? I used to live in a place that was very flat, and I get to like to walk around the area, right? For exercise, I like to get my little 10,000 steps a day, you know. Especially since I see Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey, them fellas have a little walking club, and you know what I mean? I like how them walk every day. I say, boy, let me start a walk too and see if I could bounce up $1 billion. It's not billionaires down here like the multi-millionaires. Let me find a walking club now. We can walk and talk. But so I like to get my, but it's difficult to get the 10,000 steps in this area because on a hill. And no matter where I walk to, I must walk back home, and it is a steep uphill. So I say, you know what, Saturday, I'm going around the savannah. And so long time I walk around the savannah and them kind of thing, right? When I go on to walk around the savannah, there was traffic around the savannah because some man, when it's a roadblock, apparently he don't want to stop in the roadblock, bounce a police, must he panic, bounce a next car, and before the car could even stop, he don't run out, he can't run up. Of course, police deal with it, but apparently he's shot firing and think this is by the savannah on a Saturday evening on Jerningham side, right? Somewhere around there. Keep in mind that the savannah food court or whatsoever it is, there's such a nice place. People just go and buy the little different foods and sit down and take in a lime with their family, cool their head for the next work week to come and all them things. And that is what we're dealing with here. So I like Justice Seeparsad idea. I mean, is a nice I suppose it's a nice thing to say, but it does seem to be very realistic given what we're really facing as a society. I think most people, if not living in fear, I think people very, very conscious of what is happening with the crime situation. And when we say all legal means to protect your family, one of the things that you're starting to see is people like myself considering not living in Trinidad no more, who would never, I don't want to not live here. That's a long route I take to that. I'll talk to Dara, you know. Dara might be able to help me with sentence structure. I want to live in Trinidad. I want to live down here, right? And I don't want to be in a position where I either go and live in our next country for fear of living down here, Or remember we talk about the doubles people last couple of weeks where they abandoned their home country to go on to live abroad. They did what Justice Seeparsad saying. They went and followed their dreams and innovate and make their doubles and work as entrepreneurs and them kind of thing. And when the extortion come, one of the things them have to do is pack up and leave with what they have because it's such a difficult situation. Nobody wants to see, I ain't want to bring up that, but you just put yourself in them position where your family threatened and them thing, you be considering leaving too. And if it stands to reason that extortion is likely to happen to people who take that risk to innovate and build a business and them kind of things, right? That means that your best and brightest minds are the ones that are at risk. So while I hear me and Dara trying to say fix up these schools, but fix up these schools for who? If the best and brightest people go in and find their way abroad to live. So I appreciate Justice Seeparsad's sentiment. But it feels like it feels like empty rhetoric to an extent because citizens must fight back. I mean, part of the option, they say they have a flight or fright or freeze or whatever it's called, the response, the natural reaction to some kind of a threat. I understand what he's saying. He went on to say we had to be our brother's keeper and this kind of thing, and all that is well and good, and all that is true, right? I don't want to make it sound like I'm being dismissive of what he's saying, but we must also remember that a part of what people do that fight is that the people who choose not to fight go flight, and the more of them who flight is the lesser we who wait to fight, and is a vicious cycle. So I want to encourage Justice Seeparsad as well to look into his own profession, look into his own association. They have a law association, they have a judges association. Like, look into them places and look into the same police and so on. Like some of these institutions, the same way we're talking about remodeling and restructuring the way schools are done, as Mr. Shaq say for the generation next, right? We're looking at the new generation and we need a new generation of police and judges and lawyers and so on. It's like the thing we're rinsing off, there's something they say, rinse well. All our institutions in this country want rinsing well. I want to go to another article here that I saw that I find to be quite sad. This is Newsday. It says brain drains is the economic price, right? Karen Rose 37 is leaving. The digital marketer, podcaster, blogger, and Business Day columnist announced weeks ago his intention to relocate after being based in Trinidad and Tobago for a decade. Citing the ongoing foreign exchange situation and the crime crisis, he said, "I need an environment that fosters my growth. Thailand provides access to a thriving expat community, proximity to top tech regions, and a cost of living that will give me more flexibility in building business." Mr. Rose is hardly the first person to emigrate. His reasons for doing so, however, shine fresh light on the long-standing yet rarely discussed issue of human capital flight or brain drain and its adverse impact on economic productivity. Trinidad nice. That's a saying you hear a lot whenever the quality of life here is discussed. Our diverse landscape, its fauna and flora, the warmth, the beauty, culture, the people, we are taught to appreciate it, especially in contrast to the harsher realities of life out there in the wider world. At the same time, we are a society that boasts about the achievements of Trinidad nationals who have left from us, like Nicki Minaj to Sir Trevor McDonald. With our industrial relations landscape lagging behind the rest of the world, salary negotiations still follow outdated rules. Basic protections against discrimination on the basis of gender, sexual orientation are never enforced or non-existent. It's little wonder people who are in a position to leave opt to do so. There's a sense that we can reach our untold heights and thrive after migrating abroad. Such individuals do not necessarily live under the illusion that life is easier in countries where they will face a different set of challenges. Rather, they wager that they will simply have a better chance of success given their interests and skill sets and given stronger measures to combat things like nepotism and corruption, as well as more advanced systems that prioritize the ease of doing business. So this is something that you're seeing more and more, right? Where I remember talking about Alwyn Wayne, who would be the founder of WePay, and now Karen Rose, who Karen Rose is a social media. I know him from social media, right? Talking about terrible digital marketing practices as companies. I used to just pray like he didn't come across nothing we do. Because half of the thing he used to talk about is things that we would do, and there's a certain how how to put this nicely? You see, when you're not in the position, right? There's a certain arrogance that could come along with you not knowing, like knowing things in theory but not in practice. Let me put it like that, right? Because he clearly knows a lot about digital marketing and what it takes to be a digital marketer. But what he would do, for instance, is put up something and say, boy, this company, like he will say, Yesker is looking for a digital marketing specialist and they're looking for all these different things, but they're paying $78,000 on it and lambaste the company, right? I don't know if that was his sales pitch and how he would get work and that kind of thing, but again, it's really easy to criticize harshly when he was never in a position, because I can tell you that when we advertising for positions, a lot of times we don't know exactly what we want. And what tends to happen is that we put out the thing based on just our Google search, like we download what our digital marketer should be, or we come up with all the different things that we need. And it's when you put out the thing, when you interview people now, you start realizing that, okay, we overshoot here, because a lot of business is unfortunately is trial and error. It's not perfection, and I cannot call a consultant every time I have to post a job. I would never make money. Every time you have to post a job, I'd call a marketing consultant, a HR consultant. You can't do it. So a lot of times you're trialing and erroring the thing. So I used to just pray we don't come up on his thing, yes? Or maybe I should have prayed we come up on it so we could get more publicity. But a lot of times we advertise thing and we say we'll pay $6,000 and end up paying triple that to people because we realize the value somebody could bring and then we realize, hey, what we need here is a department, not necessarily a person or a introductory level person. So you live and learn, and he was not very forgiving in his words. He was very, very harsh. All the way into hard fella to digest. Hard fella when you're listening to them fellas talking, them fellas have a level of confidence that borderlines and arrogance. But they do well and they're very, very bright. The young black fellas who know their work and they know their value. So when you see we operate in a society where people like them, love them or hate them, finding it easier to walk away from Trinidad and Tobago than to stay here. It reminds me of the pre-boom days in Guyana, where Guyana is, I used to hear a lot about brain drain being one of Guyana problem, where the biggest loss as a society was the human capital loss. So you're teaching an MBA class in Guyana, and when I do MBA courses in Guyana, you know the best and brightest people at high levels in society, public and private sector. And when you hear them talking about, hey, when I done this MBA, looking to move or going, at that time the program was Australian Institute of Business. Is that people say, well, from here I looking to go Australia, I get out of here, Guyana don't have enough opportunity. Of course, different story now with oil and gas. But when Guyana is a very large, expansive country, right? We could fit there a few times well. But they are, I think the population is about 800,000-900,000. So you find that one of the issues they're already dealing with is an underpopulated society. And if they're losing the best and brightest in the society to somewhere abroad for better opportunities, people coming here to sell goods, people go in Canada to do nursing and teaching, people go and see what people train in the States and all these kind of things. When that starts to happen, you will have an issue building back the society, even when things turn around for the better. And I'm just seeing that as one of the issues we're facing as a society, or we on the verge of facing if we don't take it seriously in terms of where people go. But again, so I ain't here for the heavy talk, I'm here to advise Terrance, right? And one of the you had even if you're on a show, right, to take it all for yourself, because sometimes you had to deflect. So you accuse she. You beg, you know what I mean? You deny, you cry. But even, especially when you see they try to put it on you, right? Even if it's just for the sake of the people in the gallery there and you're being recorded. Because remember, if you just accuse she a thing, even though she denying it, it goes song like, yes, he say, I have evidence too. She goes, say, Terrance, you have evidence on me? Let me see it. Then either one or two things go happen. The video go never come out, right? She go never, because now she looking like a mess in the video and it turned into that kind of argument. Or it looked like it could stick and it just become two people having a domestic dispute and it never go viral and things. So Terrance, sometimes you gotta, what they call it now, these youths and them is call it gaslighting now, but sometimes you have to make up a little story.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord.
You had to say, girl, the amount of different man you had over the years, I just decide to get a young thing in front of your father, you know?
When I say I'm fed up with one, all you feel is broke and making. I don't want to hate on love.
Tell she I do everything for you when I get in home, so I had to do something too.
She say she only lover, she only friend. We make a wish, now eat with bed. I sleep and I had a dream, wake up and I make a vow. Soon as everything complete, we saw and all. What I do wrong again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again. People calling me name, lad. They say I get hard again. The bush I got it, the garden I fuck it, put the fruits in a bucket. But the girl she keep on complaining. When I do it, they say put your back into it. All I know I try, she name calling with another guy. What I do wrong again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again. People calling me name, lad. They say I get hard again. I buy she chocolate, I buy she rose. I push she out, I take she back, I pick up the clothes. I never leave her, when people tell me she hot. And now she find a man and she telling me she done. What I do wrong again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again.
People calling me name, lad. They say I get horn again. Ronnie McIntosh used to say, if you horn me, I go horn your back. If you horn me, I go horn your back. If you horn me, I go horn your back. If you horn me, I go horn your back. That was old Ronnie talk back in the day. Right? Listen. Here what happened? Who next on the dockets? What else we got to talk about here? I have a few things. I'm going to run through topic fast now because remember Terrance is who we're here for. But we couldn't really pass a time like this. And let me deal with something serious before I get into some more congratulatory kind of news and so on, right? I saw this and I felt very, very sad in my heart. I see an article in The Guardian saying Nicole Dyer Griffith announces breast cancer diagnosis. I just want to take a moment to send all the prayers and best wishes to Nicole and Gary Griffith as they deal with this. She had a picture of a new hairstyle, you know what I mean? Post-chemo hairstyle. And the article reads, former Miss Universe of Trinidad and Tobago government Senator Nicole Dyer Griffith has announced that she has stage 3 breast cancer. In a video posted on her Facebook page, Dyer Griffith said she was diagnosed with the disease the same week she hosted the O2N style at O2 Park. The journey thus far has been one from distress to discovery. I've unearthed such power, peace, and perseverance that I can safely say this chapter has truly made me find unique methods of oxygenating not just myself, but also those who are traversing this journey along with me. She thanked her husband, Gary Griffith, and her son, Gary Griffith III, her mother, her brother, her friends for their support, saying they have been a complete blessing. Again, this is not easy news. If you want, you could go back to my mother. My mother was on this podcast some time ago. I wish I could tell you an episode number. Just search for conversations. Look for Linda Shepherd Bob, right? I'm not so good with episode numbers. And then clearly, if you don't know what I'm talking about, last week I labeled the episode on YouTube 294 instead of 194, right? I'm not a young man. But my mother talks about her journey with breast cancer there, and I don't know if she's been instrumental, you know, after getting a clean bill of health, going back to places like what I used to call the poorhouse or the infirmary, the St. James Medical Complex, to just talk with women who dealing with things like this. And it's rough. I saw this a couple of times in my family, and it's not easy. Of course, on the person who dealing with that, but on everybody else around. It's a really a new chapter for the family. And listen, last week I see one of the more difficult things I've seen in a long time. I always remember I had an aunt who passed away with cancer as well. So my Auntie Maria. And I always remember Canon Nolly Clark would have done the funeral, if I'm not mistaken, about who the priest was. And he said something that at that point in life, I never thought about it. And when he said it, it hit home. He said, a parent shouldn't have to bury a child. Like, you know, when a parent had to bury a child, how difficult it is. And it's only then I really think about what my grandmother would have been going through. And having a child now, I start to understand that no matter how old they could get to be big man and woman, your life, you will live in with the expectation that you leaving them here. And when you had to bury that child, it ain't easy at any age. But I have an employee who I see had to bury a child with a form of cancer as well. Boy, listen, was rough this week. 9 years old, not an easy thing to look at. And the school choir come to sing, and you know what I mean, all your friends, he had a rough time post-diagnosis, and several times in and out of hospital. I think it's 3 times they say he would have had remission with cancer. Not to imagine about a 9-year-old child, and they talk about how glowing he was, and he's the kind of child where you ask him, how you going, boy? You know, how you feeling? And he telling you, I good, how you going? He more interested in how you going. And listen, something else to see. And I heard one of the children from the cancer ward came up and spoke about her experience with him and how he was her little brother. And just talking about the children, and she took the time in the church to talk about what happens on the cancer ward with little children, how difficult it could be for little children. Listen, when she done talking, didn't have a person without tears in their eyes in that church. It was very, very moving, and it's rough stuff. So I just want to take a quick minute to talk about that and really send all our prayers, all our collective prayers and good wishes and positive energy. And I like how she put it, you know. She say, oxygenating, you know what I mean? If you could send our own oxygenation, if that is a word, to Gary Griffith and the Griffith family in this difficult time. I have coming off of that a few congratulatory things that I would like to do. And one of them, of course, is close to home for me because National Parang Association celebrates Parang History Month. And we liken Parang bad. All you know as a man is a lover of the Parang, you know what I mean? I'm still looking. I tell myself that if I come here often enough, right, and say that I want a Parang side, at some point somebody will call me and say, boy, come and play for we Parang side. But clearly that's not happening. So I need to figure out exactly what you're supposed to do if you could play a little bit and you want to join a Parang side. You don't know nobody who could pull you in a Parang side. And more importantly than a Parang side, what you want is a rum side who could just pick up and go anywhere at any point in time at short notice to go and play a little music by people, right? So I point it out in the universe again. I need help to find a Parang side. But Bavina Sukdeo writes, September is Parang History Month, a period dedicated to reflecting on and honoring the rich heritage of Parang music in Trinidad and Tobago. The term Parang comes from the Spanish word paranda, meaning festive spree or celebration. Parang has become closely associated with the joy and festivities of Christmas. Groups of musicians known as paranderos go from house to house, bringing entertainment to the community through lively singing and dancing, often accompanied by the sharing of food and drinks. Parang History Month, spearheaded by the National Parang Association of Trinidad and Tobago. You know, as a fool, maybe I should call NPAT. Maybe NPAT have some kind of repository of all halfway good players, and they could promote to somebody. NPAT PR officer Joanne Briggs explained the celebration month was the brainchild of the association's current president, Alicia Jagasa, who wanted to give the art form and its icons due recognition. So, in celebration of National Parang History Month in September, September is typically the month where we kick off the Parang season as well. I did see NPAT on their Instagram page pay special tribute to the Lara Brothers. And Lara Brothers have a special place in Parang, right? They would have both passed away at this point, Tito and Willie. And there is a younger generation of Lara Brothers who pick up the mantle, and them fellas singing good. They have a lead singer who very, very bad quadrista and bad on the vocals too. And if I could read a little bit from our NPAT post, they say Lara Brothers, one of the most iconic, if not the iconic sound of Parang in Trinidad and Tobago. They say today we celebrate Lara Brothers. Every hour on the hour, we'll give you some history and some music to celebrate the life and legacy of the Lara family. And they ain't talking about cricket. They say approximately 70 years ago, 4 brothers, Antonio, Tito, Willie, and Victor, formed the Lara Brothers alongside their father, Ignacio Monastro. Their father, a native Spanish speaker who spoke no English, came from Venezuela. And they all in turn named the band after their mother, Lena Lara. The mother loves singing Parang songs. Contrary to the foundation of the name Lara, it must be noted that the Lara Brothers maintained an all-male band cast throughout their years. In youth, they would come together and sing songs they learned but used their mouths to replicate the sounds of the cuatro and maracas. The focus of the Lara Brothers back then was on house-to-house parang to cheer spirits and moods post-World War II. The most notable of the brothers, Willie and Tito Lara, kept the Lara legacy alive into the 2000s before their passing. However, the music lives on. So, salute to the Lara Brothers. And of course, I have one lineup for you here. It's a taste, you know, it's a taste, right? It's September, right? It's a taste. So we don't get too warm. Last but not least, Kaliperssad awarded citation by New York City Mayor. Salute to the great Dominic Kaliperssad. Anytime Dominic Kaliperssad in the news here on this podcast, right? Automatic. Former group head of news at CCN Limited, Dominic Kaliperssad has been awarded a special citation by the Mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. The certificate of recognition was presented to him at the Brooklyn Caribbean Literary Festival, which was held in Brooklyn, New York City from September 5th to 8th, 2024. Salute to Marsha Messiah and the squad at BCLF. According to BCLF founder Marsha Messiah, the mayor wanted to recognize the veteran journalist and television anchor for his excellence in Caribbean journalism and storytelling. The citation states, the City of New York Certificate of Recognition is presented to Dominic Kaliperssad on the occasion of the Brooklyn Literary Festival for your contributions to our cultural landscape. Through your tremendous accomplishments as a journalist and a media broadcaster, you have engaged and inspired diverse people in New York and beyond. I look forward to the many ways you'll continue to make a positive difference and strengthen our vibrant Caribbean American community as we take bold steps to get stuff done, to forge a brighter, more equitable and prosperous future for our global city. Eric Adams, Mayor, September 5th, 2024. Following receipt of the award, which was presented to Mr. Kaliperssad by Messiah, the multi-award-winning journalist said the citation was a tribute to the profession of journalism in TNT and to all those who strive to maintain high standards. The award also coincided with the upcoming 50th anniversary of Kaliperssad's service as a television news presenter, the longest-serving news anchor in the history of television media in TNT. Impressive. Kaliperssad, who has developed a post-retirement reputation as a history enthusiast and digital storyteller, was invited to the BCLF as a result of his decades in journalism and documenting the history of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. Messiah said he was identified because of his storied career and accomplishments, which in itself is a journey in storytelling. She said it was the highest honor and an unbelievable accomplishment for the BCLF team to have Kaliperssad appear under the rubric of Archivist Preservers Making News, a new category in the 6-year-old festival which celebrates Caribbean literature and diaspora stories. It can't be that. As I say, Dominic Kaliperssad, he's what he is. He's a gem. And the thing about it is, when what the Africans say, like when you lose a library, like a library burned down or something like that, and you lose somebody like Roy Cape, we must always remember that while you feel the loss of people like Roy Cape, we must also feel the presence of people like Dominic Kaliperssad, who are selflessly contributing to our society in a way that this is what we need. This is what we need more of. More people who connected to our history, connected to our roots, connected to our culture, so that these same youths who we calling lost and gone astray and all these things could really find purpose in themselves and see that they're bigger than the block they're liming on or the issues that they're facing on a day-to-day basis that have them going down a road that's not progressive, right? But again, as we continue to do this and as we wrap up this episode, we had to get Terrance. Remember, this is Team Terrance, eh? We're not supporting this wife and we're not supporting no Shania who you come to make a video. Think that bad with me home already. You come to make a video. Hey, well, I just come to think. What she really come to say? What she really come to say? Last ditch effort to help save Terrance here. Terrance, if that ain't work, right? What we had to do is just generalize the situation. You had to generalize and just basically just make it about horn in general in life. You know what I mean? If you used to listen to Kaiso, you just make it about that again. You could have pulled some tune like this, right? Yeah, tune like this, rest down. Telling you, all her woman is fine way to horn man, and man, like old people will tell people, and old people, because I mean, when she I didn't want to watch too much of the video, but when she going down into, he ain't paying her bill, he ain't doing nothing with them children, I want to defend Terrance bad, you know, but the more she went into that story, the more I started to remember this song. MP5 strap, boy.
You think it's so? You think that's work? You think it's so? I wish you luck. Without money to buy honey, you're heading for misery. She want hairdo and calado, and you ain't have nothing. Somebody will horn you. You better believe it. Somebody will horn you. I hope you will take it, partner. You think it's so? The thing that's work. You think it's so?
just assume she want perfume and good things to consume. You say she nice, but take advice. She must want some hot rice. Somebody will horn you, yeah, yeah. You better believe it. Somebody will horn you.
I hope you could take it, partner. If all else fail, just go to woman is horn more than man. You know what I mean? Just start to say, listen, only this horn more than man. Only you had to get up Terrance, you had to do something. You can't just sit down still, right? You can't sit down still. That be enough song telling you how woman is horn more than man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Terrorizing old man, messing with the woman. He used to be grinning like time catch up with him. He ain't winning no more. His face always sour. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. The honor man crying. Yeah, yeah. Now man balling. What goes around comes around. Oh yeah, yeah. It went around and came around. Somebody on the honor man. Somebody on the honor man. Somebody on the honor man. A honor man on the honor man. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, but I love the fat man, for he was a smart man. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He waited till the wife had another man, and that one was holding the honor man. And while they cursing and pulling knife, he take away the honor man wife. Oh oh. Hey, hey.
So, I see all by churches and things which mean everybody good, right? So none of this advice don't make no sense whatsoever. But I want to the last ditch effort. When you see all else fail, right? You cry, you accuse them back, you talk about women in general and them kind of things. Sometimes you just have to let them know this is the way you just live. You know? Yeah, they say, listen. You married a policeman. What the hell you did really expect? You know what I mean? If I don't know if you have gold or right in your foot, looking for you ain't taking care of yourself. Sometimes you just have to tell them, listen, this is the way I just live my life. And it's either we doing this or we ain't doing it. I don't want to set a talk when I go on out, don't call my phone. Don't ask me no set a question about where I was and who I was by and thing. We live in, so that is how we live in. And you don't know you're not leaving already, so take your time and just let me live my life and you live your life. And you have to tell them have to close one eye, but tell them you're watching them and don't just let them run loose on you, Terrance. Because when you do that, you have to expect some overshadow say, you have to expect that it go have repercussions and consequences, you know what I mean? So you have to put on your foot, you're police, you know how to be authoritative. You have to say, I'm a man, and this is how I just live. And I want to leave all with this one, right? One of my favorite soca, Kaiso, groovy, whatever you want to call it, right? One of my favorites. Sometimes you just have to let them know that this is what it is.
Remember when I tell everybody jungle? I thought it was peace in the jungle. When I saw the peace in the jungle, I ceased to believe it's beast in the jungle. I run from the beast in the jungle. A voice from the tree where I stumble. This is no time to be humble. Get up and eat on the beast. I don't tell the girl, it's whistle and horn. And if she call your phone, tell she a gone. I don't tell the girl, it's whistle and horn. Nobody can keep me going. Already born. Well, the tongue hot. We cannibals make the tongue hot. The girls in tongue does make the tongue hot. Dance not right, so DJ don't stop. I stick on like a like syrup and cup. Once she get them break away. Same girls that I meet on the parkway. You want to eat or you want to take away. This is carnival day, I don't tell me girl. It's whistle.
As you say, you want to eat or you want to take away.
Call your phone, tell she a gone. I don't tell me girl. It's whistle and horn. Nobody got if we go. Already born. When the thing sets, all kind of woman inside the sweat. Don't try to watch the girl that I get. The girl that I get, she dripping with sweat. I don't care what that, cause she cock it back and she rock it back. She walk it back cause she fuck it back. I bust one slap with my cricket back, and she wick it back when she stick it back. Tell me girl, it's whistle and horn. And if she call your phone, tell she a gone. I don't tell me girl, it's whistle and horn. Nobody got if we gold, already born. Trinidad nice, Obama tell me Trinidad nice. The heat and the breeze make Trinidad nice. I want play match for 440 price. I will find out me, it's super morning I start to play. The music starts so I think go late. Tanti tell me to go down there so I disobey. And I make she tell me girl, it's whistle and horn. And if she call your phone, tell she a gone. I don't tell me girl, it's whistle and horn.
Listen, only have a safe week, have a productive week. Everybody take care of yourself and come back next week. I was leaving you with the Cassia, but I remember this and I'll leave you with this.
Hola, Tunje! Junior! You see, man, this thing's so amazing, amazing. Got something jump and wavy. Them girls tell we what we can do. When we drink, we rum and doing what we want to. Hola, Tunje! Them girls tell we what we can do. When we drink, we rum and doing what we want. I never seen a fete like this before. Get a up on y'all, jump it on the floor and jump on the floor, drinking, punching and chasing. When everybody head back, so I ain't tell them go. Now sell this low. Walking up on his back, backing up on his set, setting up on his jump and wailing right round the club. No security can tell we stop, cause the bartender he done full week up. We ain't getting up, we ball. No. Them girls tell we what we can do. When we drink, we rum and doing what we want to.
Hola, Tunje, them girl, tell people what we can do. I was leaving you with that, but as we done here already, right? We might as well. We done here, and we know what the situation will be looking like in heaven, right? We know heaven singing, we know heaven rejoicing when men come in. So when you see Black Sea Papi, I want you to just imagine the greeting, right? I'm leaving you with this one.
Come in, hey, yes. Well, if you wait all year, to mash up the place, Well, if you wait all year, to mash up the place, spread your hands and let go. Spread your hand in the air, everybody, spread your hands and let go. Hand in the air, why? Hey, come let we do it again. Come let we move it again. Come let we jump and spread out the hand and spread like the mountain, yeah. Throw your stress away, let me do it again. Come let we move it again. Come let we wave, mash up, jump and mash up the place and make the hay to pay the bills on time. We hustling on the grind, we working at 9 to 5, trying to stay alive. Come Monday and Tuesday, it's we time to break away. Well, if you wait all year to mash up the place, spread your hands and let go. Spread your hand in the air, everybody.
Now is my time to go. I'll see you all in next week.